Welcome back to Apex Sci-Fi. In the grand evolution of warfare, there is a path that every advanced civilization is expected to follow. It begins with fire, moves to chemistry, and eventually reaches the pinnacle of light. To the Galactic Union, a weapon is only as good as its energy output. The great empires of the stars, the Ethelgard, the Sylvari, and the Synthetic Hive, spent millions of years perfecting the photon. They built rifles that fire beams of pure heat, cannons that launch stabilized plasma, and shields that can dissipate the temperature of a sun in a fraction of a second. To them, war is a silent, elegant exchange of light. It is clean. It is efficient. And most importantly, it is governed by the laws of thermodynamics. If you hit an energy shield with an energy beam, the shield vibrates, absorbs the heat, and neutralizes the threat. It is a perfect system. But they forgot about Isaac Newton. They forgot that while you can dissipate heat, you cannot negotiate with momentum. They forgot that a piece of lead, traveling at 3 times the speed of sound, does not care about your thermal dampeners. When the Ethelgard hegemony invaded the Sol system, they expected to find a race of primitives clinging to outdated technology. Instead, they found the Kinetic Gods. They found a species that had taken the oldest weapon in history, the thrown rock, and accelerated it to the point of divinity. This is the story of the Battle of Highgate, and why the galaxy learned to fear the sound of the crack. The Ethelgard fleet arrived at the orbital station of Highgate with the arrogance of gods. Their soldiers, the Sunguard, wore armor made of shimmering refractive crystals. Their shields were masterpieces of light-bending technology, capable of reflecting the most powerful plasma repeaters in the sector. General Valerius of the Ethelgard watched the human defense line from his command bridge. "They are using chemical-propelled slugs," Valerius noted, his voice filled with pity. "I can see the smoke. I can hear the primitive explosions in their barrels. They are fighting with ancient physics. This will be over before the first sun cycle." The Sunguard marched forward in a perfect phalanx, their shields interlocked, creating a wall of shimmering blue energy. They fired their lances, silent, beautiful beams of violet light that melted the human steel barricades like wax. The humans didn't fire back. Not at first. They waited until the Ethelgard were exactly 400 meters away. Then the silence of the station was shattered. It wasn't the hum of an engine or the whine of a laser. It was a percussive, chest-thumping thud that vibrated the very bones of everyone in the sector. The humans had opened fire with the Thumper, a 20mm rotary autocannon. In the Ethelgard's world, a weapon makes a noise when it hits you. In the human world, the weapon makes a noise to announce that you are already dead. The first volley of tungsten core slugs hit the Ethelgard shield wall. The blue energy shields did exactly what they were programmed to do. They checked for a thermal signature. They looked for a frequency of light to dissipate. But the slugs had no frequency. They were just mass. Raw, cold, indifferent mass traveling at Mach 4. The shields didn't vibrate. They didn't dissipate. They shattered. The impact of a single 20mm slug carried more kinetic energy than 1,000 plasma bolts. When it hit the refractive crystal armor of the Sunguard, it didn't melt it. It turned it into a cloud of shrapnel. The elegant alien formation was ripped apart in seconds. It wasn't a clean death. It was a chaotic, violent, and terrifying display of old physics. "My shields are at full capacity," an Ethelgard commander screamed over the comms, his voice breaking with panic. "But they are not stopping. The projectiles are tearing through the hull. They are tearing through US." General Valerius watched in horror as his elite guard was systematically erased. The humans weren't just shooting, they were performing a symphony of ballistics. He saw a human sniper, nearly a kilometer away, fire a single .50 caliber round. The bullet hit an Ethelgard officer's shield, bypassed the energy matrix entirely, and punched a hole through his chest the size of a dinner plate. "They are not using light," Valerius whispered, his hands trembling. "They are using the universe's own weight against us. They are throwing pieces of their own planet at us." The humans call it the gospel of the slug. To a human soldier, a gun is not a high-tech tool, it is a mechanical extension of the arm. It is reliable. It doesn't need a cooling system. It doesn't care about EMP fields. As long as there is a spark and a barrel, the human will find a way to put a piece of metal through your heart. At Highgate, the humans unveiled their heavy artillery, railguns. If the autocannons were a percussive drum, the railguns were the voice of a vengeful god. Using electromagnetic rails, they launched a 2-kilogram spike of solid iron at a fraction of the speed of light. When the first railgun fired, the vacuum of the station seemed to scream. The spike didn't just hit the Ethelgard flagship, It ignored it. It punched through the forward shields, traveled through the entire length of the ship, destroying the barracks, the engine room and the bridge, and exited the other side, continuing into deep space. The flagship didn't explode. It simply ceased to be a cohesive structure. It was a hollowed-out carcass, defeated by a primitive metal rod. They have no elegance. Valerius cried as he boarded his escape pod. No grace. This is not warfare. This is butchery. No, General, a human voice cut into his channel, a captured signal from the defense commander. This is Newton's third law. You brought light to a rock fight. And we've been throwing rocks since we lived in caves. We just got really, really good at it. The Battle of Highgate ended with a total Ethelgard retreat. The galaxy had to rewrite its entire military doctrine. The era of pure energy weapons was over. Every empire scrambled to find ancient blueprints for armor plating and ballistic vesting. They realized that while lasers are pretty, a bullet is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Today the human kinetic core are the most feared mercenaries in the stars. They don't have the glowing ships of the Sylvari or the telepathic powers of the Zarthians. They have smoking barrels, empty shell casings, and the unwavering belief that if something is bothering you, you should hit it with a piece of metal moving very, very fast. In the Great Museum of Galactic History, there is a special exhibit. It isn't a laser or a fusion bomb. It is a single crushed lead bullet recovered from the hull of an Ethelgard cruiser. The plaque beneath it reads, "The light may show you the way, but the lead determines where you stop. Beware the humans. They are the only species that turn the most basic laws of motion into a religion." This has been Apex Sci-Fi. Energy is a theory, but momentum is a fact. If you've ever felt the kick of a weapon or the weight of a well-made tool, hit that like button. You're holding a piece of human history. Comment below. Why do you think humans stuck with bullets while the rest of the galaxy went to lasers? Subscribe. And remember, Isaac Newton is the deadliest man in space. Target neutralized.